Thanks, Pete. Thanks, Anthony. That was a great presentation. Within the next few slides, I'm presenting a case study where one of our clients managed to automate their first few contents out of Assette within a period of 3 months. The client was a $70 billion AUM investment firm. As usual, the requirement was to automate their fact sheets along with some other sales materials such as pitchbooks and client presentations. The challenges that the client faced at the time were very typical with any other asset manager. The process was very labor intensive. The team relied on manual workflows to aggregate, verify, and format the data. And this resulted in some inaccuracies and making mistakes when it comes to transforming the data and getting that content out to the public. That caused significant time delays when it comes to getting content out. But in addition to that, when the number of clients increased and when the investment products increased further, they did not have the resources to manually develop all the content in a timely manner. In addition to the above, another challenge was making sure that the content has some version control and making sure the content is actually up to the standards expected from a compliance team. And of course, it should be in line with any of the regulatory conditions that are out there. So to overcome all the challenges that I mentioned, Assette's platform can help our clients automate the creation of their content. Our implementation philosophy is to prioritize fastest time to value. Start by automating the highest impact reports that deliver immediate benefits to sales or the client services teams. For example, focus on automating a single output instead of focusing on the entire content that you would like to be automated via Assette. For example, focus on automating a fact sheet or a fact sheet related to a specific strategy or a specific asset class without focusing on the entire plethora of output that you might want to get automated immediately. Having that focus allows your sales teams or even the client service teams to get immediate value from our platform. And it allows them to cut down on their labor-intensive processes and focus more on the value-adding components in their day-to-day activities. The other advantage of using Assette is the flexible data integration. Our developer center, where we house the data blocks, allows the users to connect to typical data sources such as Snowflake, MS SQL databases, and APIs, etc. And it also allows you to upload your Excel files or CSV files and then use the same content and merge it with the data that it might be coming from other sources to create a report that you can automate and send it out. In addition to this interfacing capabilities, as Anthony mentioned, we do have the data blocks where you write Python scripts, and it allows you to merge the data sets and transform, do calculations, and you can use any of the popular open source packages that are available in Python to transform data and make use of our automation capabilities. So with this implementation philosophy in mind, our client actually managed to focus on a very specific area of content that they needed to automate and managed to get the first phase completed within 3 months. The client had SQL views, which was the main data source. But in addition to that, they also had a few Excel files And they also wanted to make sure that they get some of the qualitative content like personnel information included within their fact sheets. So towards that end, our developer center was able to interface with their SQL views and get the metadata and also the accounting data out. But some of the data, as usual, was maintained in CSV and Excel files, which we assisted their team with automating the upload processes and then connecting it up with the reports so that a comprehensive output can be constructed. In addition to that, Assette also maintains a qualitative database. We house personnel information, firm information, and strategy information in our database. For this particular case, our client was interested in using personnel information, including photographs and job functions, etc. We managed to automate the content so that our client has zero touch approach and making sure all that content is populated once the final output is produced. One of the facts that the client's team noticed was that by relaxing some of the programming standards, when I say this is, in other words, actually not over-engineering the Python scripts in these data blocks, they actually managed to get the content automated in a more efficient and an expedited manner. Of course, with Python, you have a whole lot of software engineering concepts that you can utilize, including object-oriented programming and functional programming and so on and so forth. And our data block layer does allow you to do that. But having said that, you also need to think about what is the value that you're bringing to the team within the least amount of time. For that purpose, we also advise our clients, while it is advisable to have centralized functions and it's a very attractive concept, you also need to think about how much value you're bringing with such a concept. So we advise our clients to relax these standardization concepts and try to focus more on getting the scripts out and focus more on the basics of Python and think of it as a very basic scripting language to get these reports automated. And the outcome of that was actually this made sure there are less dependencies on centralized functions or custom Python libraries, and which made it possible for the client to leave room for future enhancements without having to be overly concerned about affecting multiple outputs. Having said that, they also realized some of the content that they automated for fact sheets can also be now reused in other outputs that they intended to automate with Assette. After the conclusion of their first phase, reusability of the components allowed the client to automate the other materials through our platform in a very timely manner. That's all actually what I wanted to present about this particular case study. I'll be happy to take any questions that you have.